Welcome to Community Hotline, presented by 88 Real Estate Media. For the community, by the community. I am your host, Bob Fang, and today we have Mr. Steven. Why don't you introduce yourself, good sir?
Hey, folks. Yeah, I'm Steven. I live in Philly, and happy to be here. I really enjoyed that little Seven Nation Army little ukulele bit. That was a great intro.
Yes, thank you. Why don't you tell everyone like a little bit about yourself so that the youth listening right now can kind of have a background on who you are and how you got to Philly.
Yeah. So, 29 years old. Bob and I go way back. So I'm really happy to be here talking about this. So yeah, I live in Philly. I've actually spent the last 2 years doing a lot of environmental advocacy and working on kind of like human rights issues and stuff. And I'm actually going through like kind of like a transitional period right now where I'm kind of like looking to do a career switch. I kind of want to learn a little bit more about coding and web development. So I'm kind of exploring different programs and stuff for that right now, which is pretty cool. And yeah, living life.
I love it.
Loving my day to day right now.
Okay, great. What's it like in Philly? Tell us.
Philly is really chill. I think it's very much a place that's my speed. The people here are real. It has a grittiness that I really like in a city, but it's also it's not like too overwhelming of a city. It's actually rather small compared to like some of the bigger cities in the country like New York or LA. So yeah, I think it's pretty cool. I mean, I feel like half the time that I've been living here, it's been quarantine, COVID time. So I feel like I have a lot left to explore. So yeah, I'm kind of ready for us to be able to be back out on the streets and out and about again.
I love that. All right, well then let's move into our first topic of the day then, which is money. First question, I guess. What is money?
What is money? That's a good question. Money is a tool. It is a construct. It's complicated because it could be, it's literally like, okay, what we use to exchange for things like goods and value, but it's also like, it could also be a representation of the energy that you kind of allow in your life and, kind of flow to let things move back and forth. I don't know if that makes any sense, but
a personal example.
So, for example, I usually feel like I have the most money when I'm feeling the best. And I feel like it's kind of like one of those things where I feel like the world kind of responds to the vibe that you're giving out. Yeah, so that's how I kind of feel about money. And it's kind of funny. I just feel like my relationship with money has been like kind of a little up and down, really up and down. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of like what it means to me.
Okay. Well, there's no shame in that.
No.
How would you? I mean, yeah, I've been super broke. I've had $50. How would you say your understanding of money has changed since when you were in high school to now?
So, I've always been working, and I've always had like my own money that I've had on me, and I've always kind of had to I've had a lot of support from my family, but in many ways I had to support myself for a lot of things. I always had to take on my own bills and stuff. I've been paying for my own phone since I was like 18, so it's varied. I feel like I've had a lot of money come into my life, but I definitely have made probably some poor choices, like spending too much money on like, things that I didn't really need, like, blowing it on like, I had like 7 cars by the time I was like 23. Just not really a wise financial investment.
Why is that?
Well, a lot of it was just because I'm a bad driver. So, yeah. And then, yeah.
When you say you went through like 7 cars, what do you mean? Like every act you just be going in accidents and you have to get a new car, or you just wanted to?
Yeah, I just I just kept on messing up my cars. I just kept on crashing. I don't drive anymore.
Okay. You just
Yeah,
live
I stopped. Yeah, I actually stopped driving 5 years ago. Kind of like as a personal lifestyle choice. That's why I like living in Philly. I don't
yeah,
need to drive here.
I'm sure. I'm sure your car insurance is super high.
Oh yeah, it was terrible.
What would you I guess, what kind of money tips would you have, if you could go back in time and teach some high school kids like what you know now about money?
Yeah, I think if you have the opportunity to invest, invest right away. When I was 20, I started working for a laboratory, and they had a really like good benefits program and stuff. And I just started like putting like money into like my 401k, and I took like at the time I took like a big chunk out. It was like 15%, which is a lot more than what most people I think put aside.
Mm.
But at the time I was like, oh, I can do it. And it was pretty good. I feel like that I was able to see that grow. So, I mean, the sooner that you start doing that and investing for your future, you're just going to see that money grow.
But what does that even
So,
mean? I feel like, just I'm trying to think about it when I was a kid, in high school, and someone says the word investment, um,
yeah,
that's such a huge word,
right.
and I feel like, so how much money do you need to invest? How does that even work?
So, yeah, I mean, even just setting aside, you know, maybe 20 bucks to just start saving in a savings account, that's, yeah, I think a good move. And if you have the opportunity to put it into, say, an account where, maybe the place that you're working at matches how much you put into it.
Mm.
Um, I mean, I'm not like financially like well versed in like financial lingo and stuff where I can talk about like stocks and all that, but I think it's really good to put some money away to save, because one day you're probably going to need it. So you definitely want to have some kind of security.
Were you saving your money back in the day?
I was, yeah, I
Oh,
was.
okay. You've always been kind of financially responsible then?
Yeah, I would say so. I think like I'm glad that that was something that I did, because it was like I was saving it, but I wasn't thinking about it because it was like already taken out of my
Mm.
paychecks from where I was working. So it wasn't like I felt a loss, but I think like the money that I actually had that would go to my, bank account, I think I was like just spending it mostly on like food and drinking and stuff, which is like, I probably did a little too much of that.
Everybody got to eat, man.
Yeah.
All of that. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for sharing on that topic. Let's move on to the second topic, which is education. Uh,
Yeah.
who were you in high school?
Um, Good question. In terms of, in terms of education, I was, I think I was like an okay student. I think I could have done a little bit better. I think if I went to school every day. I did not go to class, but I went to school every day.
What do you
Um,
do in class, but you went to school every day?
well, I would like leave in the mornings and I would like go to school, and then I would like pick and choose what classes I felt like I would go to when I was there. I think if I went to all my classes and I did all my homework, I probably would have been a great student. But
Okay, okay.
I
What
think, yeah.
what made you make those choices to go to school but not pick and choose your classes? Were you just like, yeah, how did you feel about school back then?
I think it was just my attention. Like I was just like, I'm bored. I don't want to be here.
Mm.
It was also like, probably a lack of focus. I didn't really have like a plan for, what exactly I wanted to do after high school. So there wasn't really um, kind of like a strong motivation to kind of be on, my A game when it came to like, schoolwork. And I think that kind of shows when after high school transitioning into like college. So I went to FIU in Miami for like about 2 years. And I kind of like midway through college, I kind of just like, I was like, what am I doing? I don't know. I don't even know what I'm doing. So I like got up, left. I like took a break. I took like I was gonna take like a semester off, and I just never went back.
Right.
After that, I like went to Puerto Rico, stayed there for a few months to kind of do some soul searching, which is funny because I think this is where my actual education really started.
In Puerto Rico.
Was just being out in the world.
Mm.
I think like that to me was like where how I've learned the most is by branching out and kind of leaving kind of my hometown and kind of exploring.
Okay. What would you say?
Yeah.
What would you say are like three defining moments then in your life, and how did it impact you?
Yeah. Well, three defining moments. I've had a lot more than three, but
Three.
I think probably one of the biggest like learning experiences I had was in 2016 I moved to Mexico City. Me and a couple friends, we went to like a music festival in March of 2016, and we just like fell in love with the city. We were like, wow, this place is great. Like the music was amazing, the people were amazing, the food, like the city was just so cool. There was so much history. And we were all in positions where two of my friends were working online, had like online jobs, and then I resigned from the job that I was at that time, and yeah, we just packed up our stuff, and because I had like my savings, I was able to kind of just get up and go.
Mm.
So yeah, we stayed there for a year, and I feel like I just like that's where like I learned to like be like a human and an adult. That's like it was the first time where I had my own place. And we had our own house there, and it was really me kind of just like branching out. And also too, it's really interesting to see kind of just like how weird the United States is, like living in another country. I think like it's such a really powerful learning lesson to live outside of the US and outside of where you're from. I think it's expanding. It's mind expanding.
Okay, so first defining moment was you moving to Mexico City.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say that's one of them. Yeah, for sure.
Number two.
Number two, another one in the realm of education.
Yeah, I mean education,
Yeah.
right? So we can go.
Yeah, I think. So this is gonna be weird. This might be a little bit unique, but I was doing a lot of studying when I went to Puerto Rico. I was studying a lot of like kind of spiritual teachings and Eastern philosophies, and also like kind of like metaphysical stuff, and learning about like energies and how like maybe your attitude and mindset kind of attracts different things in your life.
Mm-hmm.
I had this like really, I like had this focus where like I really wanted to like manifest something.
Mm.
And this is when I was working for the laboratory, and I used to listen to like a lot of like hypnosis like audios. And I would get myself into like a zone, and I would just like focus on like such a clear sort of desire and intention. And the one that I chose this one day was I want to find $5. I want $5. Yeah. So I literally spent an entire day kind of just like in this like trance state, like kind of like repeating that.
Mm.
And then after like hours later, I was kind of like, all right, I'm over this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I'm about to wrap up my day, and then I go to like the gas station. I had to like use the bathroom, and I found a $5 bill in the bathroom.
Manifest destiny.
So yeah, that moment for me was really powerful. I think that really kind of taught me how connected. I mean, who knows? Maybe was that coincidence? I don't know. Was it an accident? I don't know. Did I manifest it? I don't know. Maybe, but to me, that was hard evidence.
Have you
So
tried it with like $100,000?
I haven't yet, but I don't know why I haven't. If I could get 5, I'm sure I could. I think I was just satisfied that I found a $5 bill. I was like, oh, this is great. Oh, I can do it.
I got lunch for the day. Yes.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay. I love it.
I
So
went to Taco Bell right after. Got a bean burrito.
the Taco Bell right next door.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. What's give it. Let's share one more, and then it doesn't have to be about education. I think it could be any of them.
Yeah. Trying to think about them.
Yeah, and no worries if you
because there's a lot of moments that are pretty profound, but one that I want to talk about. Yeah, I think those were 2 like really interesting lessons. And then I think a third one, which might help transition into maybe the next topic, is how powerful love is. I think I over the years, I feel like I've developed like, really, really strong like friendships that I feel like have taught me just like the value of like the people in your life. I think that that's just so important. Right. And I mean, that's probably like I don't know if it's like a defining moment, but it's something that I think is really important. To have like good people in your life. And
who's the best person in your life?
Oh, I got a lot of people, but I think I do favor my sister. She's highly favored in my world.
Damn, not mom. Mom's not there.
No, mom and dad. They're like 10. I got like other people above them. They're cool though. They're cool. No, my dad. He's cool. He just came to Philly like 2 weeks ago. Had lunch with him. Yeah. And then. Yeah, I got like my close friend Chloe, who lives in LA. She's awesome. We talk on the phone like every day. I also have some friends like my other friend Marla. She's like literally in labor right now, so I'm like waiting, like looking at my text message, like, was the baby born yet? Baby born yet?
I love it. Wait, so this is like the Chloe and the Marla from high school?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. So you've kept these friends all the way for like some.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay. Yeah. What's your astrology sign, by the way?
I'm a Capricorn.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. I think it's a good sign. We got the Little Mermaid tail.
I think it's not. I think that's one thing, just kind of wrap up the education portion. I think what you mentioned earlier was a defining moment about Mexico really teaching you about how to be a human and like, giving you a perspective.
Yeah.
I think that's something that like a lot of kids struggle with these days, right? Like just communicating and like building those friendships. Do you have any like thoughts on that?
Yeah, I do. I think that's learning how to communicate effectively is like really important. I think it's really important to just like speak from your heart and be authentic with people. I think people respond to that. Yeah.
What would you say like what do you think are some of the challenges that kids go through these days?
It's weird because I feel like I don't know if the challenges that they kind of go through are the same as like maybe some of the challenges that like I went through. But I feel like I mean, I don't know, because right now, like, for example, I feel like kids nowadays, like, have all these resources for communicating and all these different kinds of tools. And they have like so many different ways that they can communicate and express themselves through even, like TikToks and, creating these videos and Vines. And they just have so much ability to at least communicate creatively. So, I mean, I think just use the tools that are around you.
Okay. What about you? Some challenges you had, growing up?
Yeah. I think some of my challenges personally were just like articulating exactly what I was thinking, which I think so for example, like I'll have like a thought in my mind, or like I'll have like some kind of like idea or like concept, that like I'll try to like explain to somebody else, and I'm like struggling to find the words to exactly express. I feel like it's happened to me like 4 times already, like in this video, in this hotline. So it's just something that like I always have to kind of just like figure out like what is exactly what I'm trying to say, and like what are the best words to effectively communicate that to another person who probably doesn't have the same sort of subjective kind of pre-constructed ideas around a word.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, good thing you said your intention was joy earlier. So, well, then, kind of, I think I would really want just kind of like a map, just to kind of I guess the question would be, for the kids in high school right now,
Mhm.
you went through high school. How would you describe your freshman year, sophomore year, junior year, and senior year, so that like the kids can kind of relate or see what came before them?
Yeah. Freshman year was just like a big transition. Um, it just feels like, it just felt like I was like, whoa, this is a much bigger school, a lot more people. I'm the little one. Last year I was the big one. So I definitely probably felt really small in ninth grade, not like physically, but just like my identity,
Mm.
um, and the sea of other students. And I think I think that continued until the next year, and then yeah. So 10th grade, I would say probably the same kind of vibe. But 11th grade, that was a big difference, and I think the biggest difference was because you start driving, so you gain like I gained like that personal freedom where I was able to move around and kind of be where I wanted to be, and
Mm.
um, yeah, I got to go where I wanted. So to me, like for me, like a common theme is like I need to be able to feel free, like I can move around. Um, I don't want to be stuck in the same spot for too long. So that to me was like really cool about 11th grade, is that I was just able to drive. And I think I was also a little bit more focused. I knew that I did have like SATs at that time. So I think I like focused a little bit more in school. I think I had like my best grades in high school were like in 11th grade for sure.
Okay. Junior.
As, as should be, I think. My sister's in 11th grade right now. So I'm pretty stoked for her. I hope she
Oh,
has a good year. So they're about to go back to school.
like next week?
Yeah, they're like online right now, but I think she's about to go back. So we'll see how that goes.
Is she at Douglas?
Yeah,
Oh wow, crazy.
yeah,
Okay. And what about 12th grade?
yeah. And then 12th grade, that year was really cool because I had this desire because it was like this was like okay, the last year of high school. Oh, I want to do everything. So I like signed up for like every event that there is at the school. So like, okay, I didn't really go to that many football games or whatever, but I would go in 12th grade just to be there. Um, and then you have all the dances like the homecoming, the prom, and all that. And then there's also a lot of like music festivals that like I really wanted to experience. So I like again from like being able to save, I was able to like go to like a bunch of different music. I went to Ultra Fest for the first time in 12th grade, which was really exciting. And I think like around that time, that's when like my love and joy for like going to music festivals started.
Right.
So yeah, so that was fun. I wanted to go. I wanted to go to like all the big events that year, and I made it happen. So yeah, 12th grade was fun for
Okay.
sure.
I love it. All right. Manifesting, freedom. I love all these reoccurring themes.
Yeah,
Move on to the last topic of the day, which is love. I'll play a little chord for it. What is love?
love. Love. I mean, there's so many different kinds of love, but I think love is that feeling of joy that you have for whatever it is. Whether that could be love for a project that you're working on, a love for a friend that you're very close to, a love for a baby that you might have, a love for a puppy. Just I think it's just like like probably the highest vibrational emotion that you can experience.
Okay.
That's what it means to me, for sure.
I like that. So who was your first love?
Uh, yeah, my first one. My first one was actually someone that I had met online when I was like 19. It didn't work out, and I
Wow.
think I responded pretty. Let's just fast forward. It didn't work out, and I responded very, very poorly to it not working out. So,
You gotta help the kids. You gotta share your story so that they.
well, it's true. Like sometimes you might you might fall in love with somebody, and they're not going to care about you. And that's okay because they're not the last person that
How do you get over a heartbreak then?
Well, how do I get over heartbreak? Is that what you just asked?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, for the first one, it was a lot of soul searching, a lot of questions. God, why me? I don't understand this. Why is this happening to me? I'm such a good guy. I don't understand. Why don't you love me? But I yeah, and then but moving forward, yeah, you just there's a lot of fishes in the pond. You don't have to stay stuck on one.
Okay.
But yeah, I had successful relationships after that.
Well, that's good. I'm very happy.
Yeah. So
I see.
um,
I see like a reoccurring theme with a lot of kids, high school kids. I don't know if you know, but I used to teach second grade earlier this year. Um,
really.
yeah, and I see a lot of challenges that the kids face. I mean, I see it on all levels, but like one of the biggest challenges is that they don't know how to communicate with their parents. You
Oh.
um like their parents are just super busy or like they don't know how to love their parents or it's just like there's like a
Mhm.
communication. So I'm curious, what was your relationship like with your parents, growing up, or how is it now?
Yeah. I'm very lucky to have very supportive parents. Um, with that being said, growing up, it was very difficult. There was a lot of leader type personalities in the household, and a lot of people who didn't want to be told what to do. I am one of them, and they are also, as me being their child, were also very much like the kind of people who didn't want to be told what to do, and yeah. So I think we also have like some communication issues too. I think like oftentimes like I would kind of express sort of like my points of view, and I felt like I wasn't really heard or understood. But yeah, and then yeah, it was how do I describe it? I don't know if this is like a Puerto Rican thing or a Latin thing, but like it just like the vibe in the house just felt like a Latin soap opera. Like there was just like a lot of screaming, like a lot of yelling. So
Can you
yeah, so
can you describe a typical day in your household to see for the other kids to relate?
well, okay, so let's say I'm going to like back in high school, yeah, I'd probably I would leave, I would go to school, I'd pick and choose what classes I would go to, attend, but then I'd come home. Every other day, maybe I'd be going to work, like whatever job I had at the time, and or like I'd go home and I'd want to take a nap,
Mhm.
and then I'd be woken up to probably two fussy parents arguing about nothing, literally, like probably like something like one didn't like how the dinner was, and then the other person didn't like the other person's attitude, so it would just escalate to just a blowout over. And that's probably probably, I think that was really stressful for me to deal with at that time. And I didn't really know how to like really handle it in a calm way.
Mm.
But I think once I figured out how to kind of communicate calmly
Mhm.
to people who were probably not calm,
Mhm.
I noticed that they responded to that.
Mm.
Also, too, I like, you know, by the time I like when I left the house, I think that was great. Everyone calmed down when everyone separated. That's kind of, I don't know if that's dark, but yeah, I mean, we're all cool now though. I love hanging out with them.
I love that. So how would you say like the biggest change to having everyone come together was the fact that you had to leave and then your relationship got better?
Yeah. Um, they ended up splitting up in 2014. Um, and it was for the best. And then I also, when I dipped out around that time, when I went to Mexico, that was also an important decision. And then now every time we see each other, we're great. It's all happy and stuff. It was just a lot of hotheads in the same space.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
How when you mentioned that you learned how to communicate calmly to like people who weren't calm, how do you do that?
Yeah, yeah, I think that's kind of like learning self-control and kind of learning mindfulness. Uh, Learning mindfulness of like, you know, paying attention to just like how like many therapists will say like you can't really control like other people and what they do, but you can control how you respond to them.
Hmm.
And I think that's a really powerful thing to understand is
Okay,
to just be mindful of what energy you're bringing into any situation, really.
got it, got it. Okay, well then, just to finish up, what would you say are two pieces of life advice you have for the youth listening right now?
Yeah. Um,
Get ready.
live in another country for a little bit if you can. If you have the opportunity to do that, you know, it's going to be really eye opening. Have the opportunity to live outside of where you grew up. I think it's going to be really important to kind of expand your perspective on the world. And the second one is probably, yeah, if you're trying to like meditate and like manifest something, think about $100,000 instead of $5. That might be more effective. I don't know.
How would you feel the day you spend all that energy, all those hours manifesting $5, but if you just switched it to 100 grand, you would have found 100 grand that day in the bathroom instead of $5.
Who knows? Maybe I would have found a scratch off that somebody didn't scratch all the way, all the numbers, and they probably thought it was a losing ticket.
Exactly,
Oh,
exactly.
oh yeah, my other thing. Look at the floor when you're walking. You'll find money everywhere.
I love it. I love it. Okay, well, you have any last words for our audience before we wrap up?
Yeah. Yeah, I think, you know, right now it's weird times. I mean, 2020 has been just like such a bizarre, bizarre year, bizarre series of events. But I have a feeling that things are gonna get better. I have a feeling. I think people are waking up. I think people are starting to see like sort of some of the issues that were going on before, and people are starting to realize that, you know, things need to be changed. We need to be doing more to, you know, kind of protect our planet. We need to do more to um, kind of heal ourselves and protect ourselves. Um, yeah, I think people and all the injustices going on. I think people are waking up.
I love that. That's great. Well, then, before I forget, 88 Real Estate Media is looking to build the best Kung Fu school in Southern California. If you're interested, we are looking for members to join the oversight committee. You can reach out to us. Other than that, Stephen, thank you for joining us. Where can people find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram. It's handle is STVN, so Steven without the E's.
Mm-hmm.
Santoni. It's my last name, Santoni.
Okay.
You find me there.
Toni.
And yeah.
Okay. So this right here?
Yep. Yeah, that's my handle.
Got it. Guys, check him out. The amazing Stephen Santoni. Thank you very much.
It's been fun.